After etching his name into Northern Outlaw Sprint Association history in 2021, Grand Forks native Brendan Mullen is now focused on joining the series' short list of repeat winners. Brian Shawn has more with the driver of the 11M in this week's Inside Track, which was presented by My Place Hotels.
All right, thanks so much. Here with the 2021 defending Northern Outlaw Sprint Association champion. That is Brendan Mullen, the 19-year-old out of right here in Grand Forks, and also the only driver that I've ever seen park their car on top of a fence, which was at a World of Outlaws show a couple of years ago. I'm sure you still hear about that.
All the time. Everywhere we go, it's like, hey, are you that kid that was parked on the fence? I'm like, yeah, that was me. It was a real crazy deal, and we had a ton of people come by, take pictures, and everywhere I go still, people remember it.
What do you remember from that?
Just when you flip a sprint car, it's kind of a deal where you want to just hang on, shut your eyes, and wait for it to stop. And I remember it stopping, and I was looking down at the infield like, oh, this is not good type of deal, and shimmy down the fence, and there was a ton of fans already there, and they didn't know whether or not to stop the race and try to get the car down. They ended up just leaving it up there. So I said maybe they should have just kept it, and River Cities could have replaced the one they have on the pole out front.
Yeah, that's right. They got the one up front. They could just taken that and put it up there. Defending champion, as an 18-year-old, you won this title up here at NOSA. You know, guys like Wade Nygaard, Mark Dobmeyer, Jade Hastings, all these guys have been racing for a long time. What was it like for you to win a title at such a young age?
It was really fun. I mean, it was pretty special for me to get my name on that trophy, having seen it in Wade's deal all the time as a young kid, and just watching so many NOSA shows and knowing all these guys and being in the pits for all these different shows around this area and to win some of those too was just really special for me, and to get my name on that trophy was a lot of fun.
And you know, you're still a pretty young guy, but you've been in the car for a while now, and you got into it really young. What was it like getting used to driving a sprint car as a 14, 15-year-old kid?
It was a lot of power, and probably a little bit more than I could handle at the time, and that showed through a little bit. I mean, to find that limit, you got to go over it a couple times, but it was a ton of fun. I mean, a lot of people were really amazed when I was young, but it was just kind of like it was the next stepping stone for me, so it wasn't anything too extreme, because I actually did get to hot lap Wade's car one night in Greenbush, Minnesota, and then it was kind of a deal where Wade wanted me to, just because he wanted to see what I would do in it, and it went really well, and we were not very far off lap times with the rest of the field, so that winter we got sprint cars, and that was the beginning of it.
Yeah, and it's been that way ever since. The development in a sprint car, it takes a while. You need time behind the wheel. You need to go through all this. What was the biggest challenge for you developmentally going through this?
Just really getting comfortable at that speed with the open wheel stuff. I mean, it's really hard to, you can see where you want to have the car, and to put it there are two different things. So, I mean, car control is just it's a never-ending process of getting better with that.
Some expensive lessons along the way?
Very expensive lessons.
How do you feel like your season's going so far here in this 2022 summer?
Honestly, I've been a little bit disappointed, and I'm probably for no reason other than I'm expecting too much of myself, but it's just been a deal where the wins haven't been there. We've had speed all summer, and we're right there in the points championship again, so it's just kind of a deal where I'm waiting to get that first win and get the monkey off my back. And there's guys that it's been a little bit more stout through the field this summer. I mean, we have Thomas Kennedy coming down every week, and he's always fast, and just stuff like that where I feel like I should be winning more, but maybe I need to just kind of relax and let things come to me a little bit better.
Yeah. You've been in a sprint car for a while, but you started at a young age with a go-kart, and then you kind of worked your way up. How did you get into it initially?
Well, initially my grandpa had owned Wade's car, and he'd always been into racing, and I'd watch NASCAR with him on Sundays, and we would go to races and stuff. We'd always go to the Knoxville Nationals as a kid and stuff like that, and I just had a friend, Will Howard, that was racing go-karts, and I decided I wanted to try it and got into it with him, and it was just a ton of fun, and I never quit.
You got in the lightning sprint, and here on a sprint car. Goals for this season and beyond? I mean, how far do you want to take this? You still got a lot of years to go here behind the wheel, potentially.
Well, I'd love to go tour racing at some point, and for me right now, goals are just to keep knocking off race wins and do my best to be consistent and try to get better every night.
And how much has it helped you, not only racing here in Grand Forks, but also down at Huset's Weekly and whatever other shows you can find around the Midwest?
Immeasurably. I mean, Huset's it's a whole different beast. That place, it's a lot like Grand Forks, but it's a lot more narrow, and that wall jumps out of nowhere. So I think it's kind of a deal where just racing different tracks and stuff really lets you relax no matter where you go, and getting comfortable no matter what track surface or size you're on. I'm a little bit slow yet on a half mile. I haven't done a ton of that, and we're looking to get a little bit more experience at Knoxville and some places like that, but it's been a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time, Brennan, and we'll see you down the road, and I'm sure we'll see you in victory lane soon.
Thank you.